Hey everybody, it's Chris back with another review for the Blue Collar Beer Gourmet. Tomorrow is St Paddy's Day, and so I thought I'd do an Irish beer. Now, bear with me here. Um, Once upon a time, Guinness was a great brewery, and they made great beer. St James Gate made a Guinness and Harp, both great beers, exactly what you need for a black and tan. But St James Gate has been bought out by Diageo, and I'm going to go ahead and jump on my soapbox here. I don't know the full story behind Diageo. I don't know from whence they came, or how much money they have exactly, or what their story is. But I will say this: they seem to act like, well, they remind me of rich kids from back when I was in high school and college. The kind of kids who had so much money that they never had to focus on any one thing. They could just go bouncing. Oh, let's go to this. Oh, let's go do that. Oh, let's, blah, blah, blah. And Diageo, to me, seems to be the trust fund kids of beverage creation, beverage manufacturing. They just like to go from place to place and change things and all of that. And Guinness is now a Diageo. It's now a subsidiary of Diageo, which is, well, what are you gonna do? It's kind of sad, honestly, when one of your favorite beers from growing up becomes corporate. My hometown brewery of Boulevard back in Kansas City was bought out by the Belgians. Sometimes as much as I don't like to drink corporateswill, every once and again, something comes along, you've either got to give it a try, and that was the case with this. And so I picked up the Guinness 200th Anniversary Export Stout. It says here, the year marks the 200th anniversary of the first Guinness export from Ireland to the U.S. To commemorate this momentous occasion, we brewed this beer inspired by entries from 1817 brewing logs. In 1817, Guinness was using black patent malt to give its stouts their dark black color. This new brew is complex and smooth, the balance of roast and sweet chocolate. We shall see. I paid $1.99 for this 11.2 ounce bottle. I've got to guess 11.2 ounces is a certain number of liters, because I oftentimes see that. This has 6.0 ABV, so it's bringing it in pretty typical of a stout. Well, anyway, so I've given my little piece, and I had my say, and of course, somebody could argue, how strongly could you feel about it if you still spent the $1.99 on a beer from them? And that would be a very valid point. But as I've said before, I try very hard to keep the corporateswill off this channel. Every once and again, it's going to appear for any number of reasons. There's always exceptions to the rule. But anyway, gonna quit going on, and let's just crack this bad boy open, see what we got. Oh, and I just wanted to mention that went to Untapped, and 8 of my friends have given this a cumulative score of 3.88. And altogether it's received 18,000 rankings, giving it a score of 3.82. So not bad, not bad. Not the top of the charts, but not bad. And let's go ahead and crack this bad boy open. I find those 11.2 ounce bottles are sometimes difficult to open. If somebody wants to write me and say, here's what you've been doing wrong, do this instead, that'd be great. Always ready to learn more. And there we have it. Okay, so far it looks very much like regular Guinness. We've got this tan head. We really don't have much lacing on that. Look at that. It's not a lot of lacing. I mean, it just kind of wipes right down. So I'm frankly a little surprised because malts, or not malts, but stouts seem to have usually a little higher sugar content. Bringing it close to the nose. I smell coffee and alcohol and nuts and a little bit of liquid smoke. Actually, kind of smells. Honestly, it smells a little more like a wee heavy than a stout, to be perfectly honest with you. As you can see, that head has thinned down quite a bit, so that's not a particularly resilient head. And maybe after it does, okay, now we're seeing some better lacing. So maybe it just needed a little time to nucleate, work its way around the glass, because now I'm seeing substantially better lacing than I did originally. So, as this goes on, I'm getting a little bit more chocolate now. As the air hits it and it melds, I'm getting some chocolate notes. I think that's pretty much it. There's also a slight bitterness. That smell of bitter, like bitter nuts. You know, say maybe. Anyway, let's. I'll quit talking and start drinking. Cheers. Well, it's a stout. It's really about all I can say for it. Uh, Given a choice between this or regular Guinness, I think I'd take regular Guinness. I'm going to describe that as a medium mouthfeel, a little bit of spikiness. The flavor, though, is very thin, very watery. I'm tasting mostly chocolate and alcohol. Um, there is a slight alcohol burn to it. Although it's funny, the alcohol actually comes through more in the flavor than it does the burn. Like I said, there's a slight alcohol burn, but I'm tasting alcohol more than anything. Hmm. It's just there's not a lot of flavor to this. Honestly, there's more mouthfeel than there is flavor. Um, this isn't getting anything more than a 2.5, and I think I'm being a little generous with that. I've actually started to think maybe I'm being a little too generous on Untapped. So I am not going to recommend this beer. I am going to suggest if you see it on the shelf that you pass it by. It's not enough ABVs to sell her. It's only 6.0. Does it say IBUs on here? Yeah, IBUs are not on the bottle, nor are they on Untapped. Oftentimes Untapped will have that. This is not a good beer, and this is a pure cut example of Diageo ruining something that's perfectly fine. This is, this is not a good beer. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not a good beer. Um, and Anyway, so real quickly before I gotta close out, tomorrow is St. Paddy's Day. Please be safe and sane. Please be careful. Please don't drink and drive. I'd like to have every single one of you right back here on the 18th to check in and say that you are safe. Remember that there are many, many, many options out there. There's Uber, there's Lyft, there's taxi services all over the place. If you're drinking at a bar that's downtown, there's always cabs around downtown. Sometimes you have to go look for them a little bit, but I don't give a damn downtown anywhere. You've got cabs, okay? And don't forget that there's part on Untapped. If you grab the Untapped app, one of the things on there is need a ride. They'll help you find a ride home. There are services that will come and pick up your car and drive you home in your car, okay? So, I mean, there's really no reason. There's no reason whatsoever for anybody to act like a fool and get behind the wheel of a car who doesn't have any business behind the wheel of a car. Uh, I don't have any patience for this. My cousin Mike is not here today because somebody who had no business getting behind the wheel of a car did. So, please, don't drink and drive. It's near to my heart. Okay, until next time, have a great St. Paddy's Day tomorrow, everybody. Drink good beer. Don't break the bank doing it. Cheers.